I found my son crouched behind the staircase, his small shoulders trembling. He was only 11. His eyes were swollen and red, his breathing uneven like he was trying not to fall apart. In a broken whisper, he said, "I'm not even yours." Then he told me what my brother had said, that his mom was drunk the night he was conceived. That he was a mistake, words thrown like poison straight into a child's heart. I didn't ask for more details. I knew my brother's voice too well, that smooth, mocking tone he used whenever he wanted to feel powerful. I pulled my son into my arms and held him tight. "Light eyes," I whispered into his hair. When the truth walks into the room, he didn't understand yet. But one day he would. I stood up, took a slow breath, and felt something lock into place inside me with a hard, metallic final click. I'd heard that sound only twice before: the day my father betrayed my mother, and the day my brother betrayed me. Tonight made three. He hadn't always been my enemy. Growing up, I followed him everywhere. He was confident, brilliant, the kind of man who owned every room he entered. People admired him. I did too, especially when he convinced me we should build a business together. Blood and ambition, he'd said. What could possibly go wrong? The irony stings now. I gave him loyalty for years, and he took everything he could: credit, respect, and eventually my marriage. Back then, I couldn't see the decay. Love makes you blind. Blood makes excuses until one day, it doesn't. It started small meetings I was never told about, clients quietly rerouted to him, documents altered just enough to make me look sloppy. Then came the whispers. "Are you sure your wife is faithful? A friend saw her talking to someone last night." He never accused her outright. He just planted doubts and watered them with smirks. The final blow came when I found the messages not from my wife, but from him, manipulating her, pressuring her, trying to rewrite the past, her value, my marriage. All because he couldn't stand seeing me have something he didn't. She never crossed the line. He did, and then he went after my son. That was the moment he crossed his last line. You can hurt a man and survive it. But when you hurt his child, you invite something darker. Rage would have been easy. Screaming at him would have done nothing. Chaos was his playground. He lived for it. I needed something quieter, sharper. A revenge that didn't need noise, only accuracy. So I did the one thing he'd never expect. That evening, I smiled at him. I even thanked him for clearing things up. He smirked, convinced he'd broken me. He had no idea the weapon was already in my hands. I didn't touch his money. I went after what he worshipped more than family, more than loyalty, more than truth, his reputation. For months, I'd been collecting things without realizing why. Documents, voice notes, recordings from meetings he thought were private. I never planned to use them. But life decided otherwise. That night, I organized everything into a single file. The truth only hurts when you've been lying. I sent it to one person, not the police, not the press, not our family. I sent it to his business partner, the man who controlled the investments, the man my brother believed would never betray him. He called me at 2 a.m. His voice was calm, low, and scared. "I didn't know." He said. "You weren't supposed to," I replied. By 9 a.m., there was an emergency meeting. By 10 o'clock, the financial records were open. By noon, they found everything: hidden transfers, fake invoices, personal expenses buried in company accounts, every move deliberate, every trail documented. I didn't destroy him. I just turned on the light. That evening, his partner called again. "Your brother no longer has access to the company," he said. "We're stripping his privileges. The lawyers are coming." Then a pause, and thank you. The irony tasted clean. My brother showed up at my house just before midnight, shaking with rage and fear. "You did this," he said. I stepped outside and closed the door so my son wouldn't hear. "No," I said calmly. "You did this. I just stopped protecting you." His voice cracked, not with remorse, but with terror. "I'm your brother, and he's my son." The silence that followed was absolute. In that moment, he understood the one hierarchy he could never twist. His shoulders slumped, his eyes went empty. The king had fallen, and I hadn't raised my voice once. I simply let the truth walk into the room. When I went back inside, my son looked up at me from the couch. "Everything okay, Dad?" I sat beside him and pulled him close. "Perfect," I said. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel relieved. I felt steady, finally. Some betrayals need a storm, others only need a window open so the darkness can leave on its own. My brother taught me many lessons, but the most important one was this: if you go after my child, you don't just lose the fight, you lose your kingdom.